All right, y'all, it is the next day. I'm out here in the driveway now. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I did. I put this new power wire in with that junction there as well. There is a little grommet or rubber boot that I can put over that as well to cover that up. If not, I'll figure out something else, but that one should work. That came with it. So that's all routed and it's in its place. It goes down and under, really close to the oil pan, comes under and behind the alternator and comes up and it plugs in right there. You see it? I have a little hose clamp hooked up to the side of the block, and then it's hooked up right behind this set of hoses right there. So it's plugged in right there. So yeah, y'all, we are in the game. So all I got to do now is really tighten it down. I have it just kind of temporarily zip tied right now, but I think that's the route that I want to go, and then we'll go from there. All the hoses, all the wires and everything are ran pretty nicely. These all were already here factory from GM back in the day. So what I did is I ran my other computer wire kind of the same way along that line. It used to set down there, and I really actually did not like that. I was able to cut the loom open it up, extend these wires so that way it could go over to here. That one goes up. I don't know where this one is tied into. I gotta research that. But yeah, all in all, looking pretty good overall. So what I'm doing right now is I have the car up on jack stands, and I'm taking the hubcaps off and these wheels off. I'm gonna get them cleaned up, and I'm gonna paint them around here just to get some of that surface rust out. And I don't care what these look like, because I'm gonna change these out anyway. So I'm not gonna tape them or anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint over them, make them look all nice and neat, at least the wheels, and then we'll go from there. I'm also gonna clean the inner fender wells and the frame and everything, because what I'm gonna do is while the wheels are off, I'm gonna go ahead and touch up some of this stuff after it dries with some chassis enamel that I always use from Summit, and we're gonna go from there, you guys. So yeah, y'all, coming along. This thing is looking a lot cleaner than it was before. Like I said, all that can remain. That's the stock stuff, with the exception of that little battery junction that I have over there as well. But man, we're making do.
I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole fucking thing. Yeah. Yes!
Jumping that.
Today I'm out here working on the box Chevy. Just got done actually for several hours this morning, deep cleaning the house, getting ready for the baby. My father-in-law is actually in town as well. Her parents are here staying at her brother's house, which is actually right over here. They're actually in Europe, so they're house sitting, watching the kids. Coming soon, y'all. Got to get all these projects done before June. Anyways, y'all, I'm out here working on the box Chevy, getting it ready for LS Fest, because I'm driving the dang thing there. Man, that's like 5 days away. Ooh-wee. And in the meantime, also too, when I'm not working on this, I'm working on the K5. So a lot of projects going on, y'all. Lots of projects going down. If you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, y'all. Mr. Griffin 23 here, working on the box Chevy, the K5, the Chevelle should be coming back soon. And man, I don't know if I ever have time to work on the G-body or not, man. I don't know. So one person trying to work on 4 different projects. It's a love, it's a passion, but man, it hurts the pockets, takes away time from the family. But my wife is really understanding, and she knows that I love to do this stuff. So it's really, really good to have a partner by your side that supports you and your passions and what you do. So anyways, you guys, enough of me talking. Let me flip this camera around, show you guys what's up. So anyways, y'all, just to make this real quick, I don't know what I have been filming. There's no rhyme or reason to kind of anything that I've really been doing. So I'm just gonna actually just post whatever I have as far as videos go, post those up, and then I'm gonna kind of give you an overview of kind of what I've been doing and what I'm doing right now. So anyways, y'all, these are the new tires that I got on there. I went with an 1.5 inch white walls. I don't know, man, just to kind of give it a little bit more look, and I got a little bit more meat, so it's a little bit thicker tire. I actually like it. It's a little bit wider, so now when I turn, like when I do a hard turn, it barely rubs on the frame, so I'm probably gonna have to use, maybe I have an 1/8 inch spacer, I think, that I can use to put back behind there just to give me a little bit more clearance. As far as the engine goes, you guys, I just been really doing a lot of wiring cleanup. I haven't really touched anything as far as the engine goes. It's running fine, it's running good. When I get it all together and everything, I'm actually gonna take it for a drive, make sure everything works great. New radiator was installed a while ago. I had that radiator top plate. I don't know if I mentioned that. I think I did mention that in a previous video, that I had a radiator top plate that's for a Chevelle, like a 68 to 72. Supposedly they bolt right up to these box Chevys, but they must not work on the 77 to 79s because the holes weren't lining up for me. And I've heard of people using them. Box Chevy P actually gave me that idea, but they all have like 80s and mid 80s and late 80s and early 90s box Chevys, but this being a 78, maybe it's just a little different, I don't know. So anyways, that's gonna have to suffice for now. I don't really have time to kind of do anything else with that. Again, all this wiring is kind of just staying the same. I cleaned some of this up. This was all cleaned up as well. You can kind of still see a little bit of wiring there, but it's all pretty much loom for the most part. This actually had a lot of wires kind of sticking out. I cleaned all those up as well, so now we are good to go there. Just really a lot of cleanup, y'all. The whole headlight harness has been kind of reworked and cleaned up. You can still kind of see some wires back there, but that's how it came from the factory, you guys. So I'm not really worried about it. I'm just gonna kind of leave it as is, and we're just gonna go from there. I'm probably gonna spray some paint on here at some point as well, kind of clean that up too. And I really wanted to paint that portion of the steering arm, but it's a really hard place to kind of get to. I probably could have, but I mean, no big deal right now, man. I can't do everything all at once. And again, crunch time. So I'm really just trying to do the most important things first before I do really anything else. Look at that brake booster, y'all. Brake booster looks really good. I took off the windshield wiper motor, have that painted as well. I'm not gonna put it on right now because I'm gonna have to run some wires probably behind there because I'm trying to hook up my cruise control. Now, it's all wired in, it's all ready to go. It's just the cruise control box used to be over there. It used to sit over behind the master cylinder, the brake booster there, actually where that reservoir is. You guys can see right there. It used to sit there, so you can kind of see where the pigtail is with the blue tape around it. But now I had to move it over here because of the new supercharger and the way that the throttle body is pointed and everything, and it's off to the side. The linkage really didn't reach over, so, and it actually did reach over, but it was covering the top of the brick, and it just didn't really look good. And I wanted it all covered up and to look nice, and so it just wouldn't reach when I tried to hide it. Anyways, I'm gonna try to attack that, and man, all in all, we really should be good to go. I'll probably just clean it up when I wash it, and then obviously when I'm driving, it'll probably get dirty again, so I'll clean it up when I get down there. But yeah, y'all, so I checked the front brakes. They all look good. I repainted also the inner fender wells as well, and then all I gotta do is put on the hubcaps and we'll be good to go. On the other side, I actually got a bunch of paint splatter, and I don't know where that came from. Actually, that's not too bad over here, but all on the other side, like all along the bottom side of the car, was all just nasty. So I've been dealing with that, trying to get that all cleaned up, and right now it's on the whole bottom of the car. So I'm either gonna have to repaint that bottom piece or just leave it be. The brakes I have to recheck, so when I take off these spacers, I will also check off the drums, check the brakes out and everything. I painted this a long time ago. It was actually holding up pretty good, but you can kind of see how it's starting to kind of get through the paint a little bit. That's okay, you don't really ever get to see that anyway, but I cleaned all this back here, so all this is super clean. If you guys never seen this car, this is actually a 96 Caprice bubble rear end that's been built, 373 gears, all Yukon axles and everything in there. It's just it's all set up, runs really nice. Moog coils, stock replacements, Bilstein shocks, Hotchkiss upper and lower, and I did order a sway bar, but I don't know if it's going to make it here in time, but we'll see. These adapters that I have on right now are basically for emergency, because the Bubble Caprice has a different bolt pattern. It goes 5x5. The actual bolt pattern on this box is actually 5x4 3/4. So what I did is I got the thinnest adapter that I could find, and that will still work. So that way, if I got a flat or something like that, I'd be able to use my stock spare, which is 5x4 3/4, on this. So all I had to do was put on the adapter and I'd be ready to mount. So that spare fits the front, but it doesn't fit the rear. So just trying to think ahead, you guys, just trying to think ahead. But I put them on so I could put on my rollers so I can just move the car around and be good to go. So I'm actually undoing all the stereo stuff so I can take it out and get to that spare, so I can take the spare to put my other tire on, because I got new tires for them. So I actually think that might be the original spare. Anyways, let me go ahead and attack some of this. I'll chime back in here in a moment. I checked the brake pads. These brake pads actually look good. On the other side, it looks like this one, oh, and the other side is starting to deteriorate a little bit. I have to take the other one apart anyway, because the wheel cylinder is leaking, it looks like. It doesn't look like it's bad, but it is leaking. The brake drum was a little damp, and you can see right here, it's a little wet, and it's been dripping down, and it was down in there. You can see all that grease build up right here. So yeah, y'all. So anyways, the wheel cylinder is probably going to be replaced. And what else? Oh, this is a shoe right here, so you can see how it's getting low. So I don't know if that means it's just out of adjustment possibly or not. The pad itself doesn't look too bad, but I don't know. I don't like it, especially going on a road trip like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. So what I'm gonna do right now is clean all this off, take it apart. I gotta get a new wheel cylinder, so I have that on order. O'Reilly said to order it from their distribution. So that should be here hopefully within the next couple hours. But these are the 11-inch drums and shoes as well too. So these are the bigger ones, not the 9.5-inch ones that they have. So anyways, let me go ahead and start taking this apart, and I'll chime back in here in a moment. I have been out here for several hours, like legit several hours. What held me up was doing these brakes. So the good thing is I was able to check the brakes, do an inspection here before we leave for Vegas. But on the flip side of that, the brakes ended up being bad. The rotors needed to end up being turned. The wheel cylinder on this side went out, so I bought one wheel cylinder, but they had to order it. Luckily, they got it here within like an hour and a half. So went ahead, changed the brakes, wheel cylinder, everything went fine. Then I had a little bit of an issue putting it back together. Ended up being, it was just user error. I put on a piece backwards basically, and everything went smooth. So cool, went over here. I actually was not going to change the brakes over here because they looked really good, but since I had to buy new brake shoes, I went ahead and just changed them on this side anyway. They're probably about 50%. I probably could have worn them out for a little while longer, but you know, since I had to buy some brake shoes anyway, they came in a set of 2. I was like, you know, might as well do it. So went ahead, changed those. Good thing I did, because when I took it all apart, this wheel cylinder actually went out. So that one went on me and just started leaking everywhere, and man, I'm just so now we are where we are at right now here. So I'm unable to get the wheel cylinder today, and even if they got it today, I wouldn't work on it, man. I'm done. I'm done for the day. So anyways, y'all, I've got to call them and order the wheel cylinder, and then I've been trying to film me doing work and stuff like that, but I keep getting caught up I keep getting held up. Then I had to go, you know, run some errands, help inside the house, things like that. So it's just not going for me today as far as filming and all that good stuff. So anyways, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the night. Get in, it's getting cold. I'll chime back in here in the morning, let you guys know where I'm at. It should be all dialed in today as far as this portion goes, and then we'll be able to kind of continue with the checklist. So we are down to like, what, 4 days now until we actually leave. So we're getting it dialed in. But yo, just show y'all, man, clean as a whistle up here, y'all. Clean. Everything's clean. Drums, I actually painted those a while ago. Those are starting to kind of go, but I mean, overall clean. Everything's there, y'all. Everything is there. So my goal with this engine was to make it look like GM or somebody just sat a newer motor right inside, but everything else was all factory for the most part and remained the same. So, you know, this is my version of a sleeper. I think I did pretty damn good. All right, y'all, man, I can't win with this car right now, man. Finally got the brakes fixed, and I have a dot on this lug right here, and or that stud, and it was giving me problems before, but I thought maybe it was just kind of like slightly cross-threaded or something like that. And when I changed the tires a while ago, I thought I had it fixed because I put a new stud on, and it basically, I just thought that I just had to clean up the studs or something. And so it came off and on really good, but for some reason, I got these new studs or these new lug nuts, and this one's really hot. And brand new threads and everything, screwed it on. Seemed to be going on okay, but it just, for some reason, it caught and it stripped. I don't know, just this one. This one was kind of being a little funky too, but when you kind of look at it, I don't know if you can really tell, but you can see kind of how the threads are, or they're not really started very well, and some of them are flat. So I don't know, you guys, and I was like, man, brand new lug nuts and everything, and I'm about to ruin them. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and try to bang this one out and buy some new studs. I'm gonna go to the store, see what I can do. These seem to be going on okay now. These ones on the bottom, they didn't really give me a whole lot of trouble. Every now and then I kind of get caught up, but it's not terrible. So I don't know, that one seems okay. I don't know, you guys, it's just really annoying. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and try to beat this one out, and then I'll chime back in here in a little bit. All right, you guys, so back from the store, and if it ain't one thing, it's another. So one thing I got going on here is, again, I needed to replace the studs. So these that I marked with a little neon chalk marker weren't all allowing the lug nuts to screw on properly. Now, I don't know why these were not allowing the lug nuts to screw on properly, so I don't know if the threads are kind of damaged in places or kind of flattened off or what. Sometimes the lug nuts would go on. I mean, even brand new ones, you guys. So I thought that I could, like, you know, take a lug nut and maybe, like, you know, sometimes you can kind of rethread it by just kind of allowing it to kind of work itself back and forth. But for some reason, man, I've always kind of had problems with it. They would go on and they would stay, and then kind of taking them off, they wouldn't. So what I did is I took a new lug nut and I went down all of them. And there was only one that actually went on smoothly with the new lug nut, and that one is still on. So I've had to replace 4 of them, and this is a new one. The other one is all damaged. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so this is the one that always gave me problems. And the last time I put it on with a new lug nut, and it went on and off, went on and off. But then when I tried to put a new one on, it ended up getting stuck and doing this. So went to the store, got a new one, but now you see my next problem. The aftermarket ones are a little bit taller. So what I did is actually cut the new one down to length so they'll fit. Now the reason why I did this is because I have two different bolt patterns on the box. The rear, since it's out of a 96 Impala or Caprice Classic, it actually came out of a Caprice Classic, but the bolt pattern on that is 5x5. Well, the 78 Caprice, normally from the factory in my older end, was 5x4 3/4. So I have to actually bring a set of adapters that will go 5x5 to 5x4 3/4 because my spare is 5x4 3/4. So worst case, if something were to happen to the rear tire, I would have to run it. So that's why the adapters. Now, what I did is I wanted to buy the most, let's say, narrow adapter that I could, just so I didn't run any problems with it sticking out too far and possibly hitting the inner fender, which I don't think would have been a problem if I went thicker. I just wanted to go as thin as I could. So I bought 1-inch adapters. Well, the 1-inch adapters were fitting just perfect with these shorter original lug nuts. And you see how that's about, you know, 1/8 of an inch or so bigger, taller. So I had to cut it down in order for it to be just about the same height as the other ones, as you guys can see. So that's what I'm doing now. And I was able to screw the new lug nut on, which is right here, with no problems. So now it goes on and off, 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 with no issues at all. So what I did with this is I cut it down with my cutoff wheel. Then I went to my table grinder and I ground and rounded off the edges, as you can see there. Flatten it off, kind of make it look best I could. And then I used my wire wheel to kind of tune it up basically, and they go on actually a lot more smoother than original. So I have 3 other lug nuts that I used on the other ones. What I'm gonna do is I'm just not gonna use them at all. I'm just gonna go chalk those up as a loss. These were actually pretty cheap, but they sent me a set of 20. So I have basically 3 new sets of 5. So I'm just gonna use all new lug nuts on these ones, and I have 1 stud that actually works perfect. So we're in the game. So anyways, let me go ahead and attack this and I'll jump back in. All right, y'all, she is on there and it is all good, man. The new studs made all the difference. A little bit of work went a long way, and I know down the road I won't have any more problems with it. Every time I took the tire on and off, it was a little bit of a battle with these lug nuts, and I didn't know if I was like, man, do I have the wrong thread pitch or what's up? I don't know. I did all the research and everything, and then they seemed to kind of be working. I don't know, man. It was just a struggle. I've never struggled so much with these lug nuts, but it ended up being the right pitch. Everything was good. Maybe these studs were just cross-threaded at some point. Maybe they got beat up at some point. I don't really know. I put the new lug nuts on that I got in my pack. All those are brand new right there. And I put them on the old studs, and they're just not acting the same. So but yeah, y'all, they're on there. They're good to go. I tightened them down, the studs. I put them on there with a little torque bar here, just because I didn't want to put it on with that, just because I didn't want the unsteady of the drill kind of like, you know, really grabbing at it every so often, and then all of a sudden it goes on crooked. So I took my time with the little longer wrench here, and shoot, man, we're good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the other side off camera, and hopefully I don't have to change as many studs out, but I'll go ahead and see how many good ones we have, and then I'll sit the car down and you guys get to see how it looks without the hubcap. Show you the final product, and then we'll close out the video. All right, y'all, so we are in the game now. Everything is done. We got it all fixed up. It's all good. So the rear, I'm done. I probably just got to torque them one more time after driving it and whatever, but we should be set. The fronts, remember, I got to take those off, put that little spacer in there, and then we should be good to go there. But man, did this give me some trouble. So it probably put me back about a day, maybe more, hopefully not. But there's a handful of things I still have to do. I have to put the spare. I got a new spare tire put on, so that way we are good to go. My buddy is going to bring a jack, so like a small jack, so we have that just in case of emergencies. He's actually bringing his truck because he's towing his 442, so we'll have some room to kind of bring some things as well. So full size spare, all good to go there. Again, my adapters are right there, so those will be good on the front here. And then if a front tire goes out, then at least I'll have my spare, which is original to this car, 5x4 3/4, so we are good to go there. Other than that, a few little odds and ends. Take it to the engine here. Still got to do a few things. I got to put on my windshield wiper motor, but I'm going to go ahead and clean that area up first. I'm leaving it off right now because I have to extend this cruise control wire. It's about 9 wires. I got to extend it so it can run. I'm going to try to run it cleanly behind the windshield wiper bracket there, behind and through, and then have it plug in there. So that'll be good. I got to tighten up everything. So I went along all these clamps, retighten those. I'm going to go ahead and kind of make sure all the accessories and stuff are tightened as well. Sometimes they do come loose. And so just added assurance to go ahead and do that. I actually found some of this stuff, and I didn't even know that they made it, or I don't even think you can buy that piece. So it's kind of a tar material. So what I did is I found some online, then they said it's for automotive, you know, kind of things like that. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm actually going to cut it to fit this opening here. Now this opening here was for my Pro Charger piping, and that's why there's a gaping hole here. But I also used it to run my hose down there for my makeshift ice box and heat exchanger. Normally, if that wasn't cut out, I would just have cut a hole and just ran it through, and then it would be good to go. So what I'll probably do, what I would like to do actually at some point, is maybe have this intake pipe kind of access that area. The thing is, it would be not good if it rained or something like that, because then water could get up and suck into the intake. So, but I would like to use this kind of like a open air duct if I could. I'm just got to figure out kind of like how to do that. I do have a new inner fender well as well. I got that as well just in case I wanted to put a new one in, just to kind of fill this hole up as well, but we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to put that little piece of tar material here, and then we should be good to go. I don't even know if it's tar. I don't even know what it's made out of, but I'm gonna cut it to fit, make it fit around that pipe, then we should be good. Everything else, we're all set. A lot of just cleanup and everything, and then we should be all set, you guys. So man, we have come a long way. I'm really excited about it all. And again, I'm just probably about a day behind, but we're gonna make it work. So other than that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do a couple things before it gets dark on me. You guys have to do like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. I'm gonna get out of here. Deuces. Peace out.